All right, in this video, we're going to be talking about the patch that just dropped February 21st today. This is sort of a live look at this. Doing a stream right now, and we were just talking about it. I want to shout out to Professor, I'm just going to call him Professor X for bringing it up. So what we got here is first the general updates that I think everybody's sort of already aware about. We've got the Series 5 to 4 drops. We talked about this before. Surfer, Null, Darkhawk, Sentry. Series 4 to 3, where we've got Coulson, Hill, and Helicarrier. So Series 4 and 5 now have a shared rotation protection. That's Token Shop. Okay, interesting. Added a confirmation dialog when purchasing season pass levels. I always like those confirmations. It's fine. Tapping the credits or gold icons at the top of the screen will navigate to the shop. Great. Art and visual effects. Onslaught VFX faster, especially for Bar Sinister. Additional VFX to location affected by clausability. Added a notification for when you try and discard while your hand is empty. Added animation for Rickety Bridge. Okay. Mysterio's illusions will now use your Mysterio's variant. All right, card updates. Now this to me is the big part. Okay. Let's see. So Darkhawk. Peachy/Coke saying, don't be fooled by this. It is not, this is a buff. Okay, so let's see why, because he's going to talk about, I'm guessing he hasn't said it yet, but a negative deck. That's what I'm thinking on this. Not that it matters necessarily, but 0 versus 1 makes a difference. So I'll be curious to see if that's what he was alluding to. So Darkhawk loses 1 power here, goes from 4 to 1 to 4 to 0. They talked about it's an especially powerful card, and they prepared this balance change before Surfer and Zabu nerfs went live, but they didn't want to hit him too hard. But they definitely feel like knocking off at least 1 power is warranted. Now this one, Thanos. 3 power increase. I feel like this is a pretty solid buff here. I just got this in a raft spot, so I feel like that can be a super great card. Obviously, he's already pretty strong. I do like the fact that they're giving him more energy, because I do think that when you play him, anytime you're facing anybody with those Infinity Stones, I don't remember the last time I saw somebody actually drop a Thanos. So their comments here is they think Thanos is one of the coolest cards, and it's a bit sad. Let's see, it's the coolest card, and it's a bit sad that he himself isn't played often. And that's exactly what I was just saying. Most Thanos decks focus primarily on making good use of the stones, which I totally agree with. But we want to make sure that the Mad Titan himself has enough power to play. I agree with that. Sandman. All right. So Sandman has been used a lot all over the place. You could see him in a negative deck too, actually. This will definitely take that away if it was being even out there. But now he's got 5 power and can only play on turn 5. Many of the strongest decks right now have strategies centered around playing multiple cards on turn 6. Sandman should be a good answer to these decks, but he didn't quite have the sand to stand up to them with his previous stat line. We're giving him a bit more power to make him a bit more competitive card, but also what is that word? I can't read. But also bumping up his cost subsequently. I'm not good at English. Somebody help me learn that, please. The cards below are rather weak at the moment, so we're giving them a small buff to help them perform a bit better. Spider-Woman from 5 to 7 to 5 to 8. Namor from 4-5 to 4-6, and Dagger from 2-1 to 2-2. I'm good with all those. I think they're pretty solid. I know for Namor, when I was in the pre-Pool 3 play, I really did enjoy using him there. This gives him a little bit more of a bump. I don't see Spider-Woman at all anymore. I welcome this change a bit. Maybe this will bring her back a little bit. Text only update to Yondu. Destroy the top card of your opponent's deck. So this is interesting. So let's see what they say first. Yondu's text now accurately describes his effect. Please remember that most triggered and ongoing effects are not active while a card's still in your deck. So despite the word destroy, Yondu can remove Colossus and Wolverine with impunity. Okay, I'm glad they addressed that, because when it said destroy, that's the first thing I thought of. Well, that means Wolverine's gonna now hop into your deck, right? Or onto your wherever you're gonna play. Apparently not. So I don't know why they just didn't leave it as remove, but is what it is. All right, text only updates as an ongoing effect to improve card and location text. We've adjusted everything that currently says when you play a card to say after you've played a card instead. We hope this makes it clear that these abilities trigger once a card has been fully played, including its on-reveal effects. None of these are functional changes. Angela, Bishop, Iron Fist, Lockjaw, Titania. I think, okay, that's fine. Just clearing things up. All right, location updates. Zakar. After this turn, put a card from each player's hand here. Zakar has a lot of weird interactions with cards like Storm and Wave as a consequence of revealing a card mid-turn. While we're sad to lose the exciting moment of a Zakar revealing, we want to avoid these confusing interactions going forward. We think this design will also open up some interesting interaction points in the early game. As a note, Zakar and the introductory missions will retain the old effect. All right, so this is one of those things where I think, I think that it was, you'd get it pulled and then Storm would stay there for 2 turns or something like that. I think that's something that was definitely an issue. All right, so they fixed it, except for through the introductory missions, that's fine. Text-only updates. As noted in card updates, the following locations are being revised to use after instead of when, or triggers related to playing a card. None of these are functional changes. So again, it's revised to use after. So Altar of Death, it's just when you play something there, it's after you play there, it destroys. Same Bar Sinister, Cloning, Danger Room, all these different rooms that you could play something there, but it would be after you play it that something happened. Makes sense, text changes. Adjusted the cost of Clintar Symbiote from 1 to 4. That's interesting. So what I'm reading this is they didn't like the fact that when somebody combined all their cards, you could have a Killmonger destroy it. I do think that took away from that spot because I just didn't ever play anything there because I was worried about Killmonger. So that's good. All right, so bug fixes. Holy moly. All right, so they got a number of bug fixes here. Absorbing Man's effect now can be doubled by the effects of Wong, Kamertage, and Odin. I think that's phenomenal. I love that they have that right at the top of the list. The Karish Cell should no longer get stuck mid-rotation on PC. Okay, cool. Fast forward vision effects should properly show when Onslaught is played on Bar or Sinister. Altar of Death now gives energy if Green Hoblin or Hobgoblin are played and destroyed on the opponent's side. That's good. Losing internet connection on friendly battle matchmaking now gives a connection error message instead of remaining on the matchmaking screen. Fix the soft lock if both players were constantly idle in friendly battles. All right, reduce size of cards in focus views so they can overlap less with the variant artist nameplate. Fix an issue that could cause soft locks in the fast upgrade. Focusing a card in CLTR and Season Pass no longer plays the new card earned. Singers, visual effects, I'm assuming that's what it is, or sound effects. Purchasing cards, fast upgrades, token card shops, and gold no longer causes the shop to scroll up. Fix an issue that prevented some variants from displaying in the token shop. Miles Morales cost is correctly reduced if a card is moved and destroyed before its move resolves. Fix the soft lock when the undo actions in the UI opened. AI should no longer retreat in matches for new players under rank 10. Ranked reward notification tips now appear again when you reach a new rank and have claimable rewards. The prompt for inputting an incorrect friendly battle code has been updated. Let's see, added code variant name for Sentry variant that has previously missed information. If a card is played on Shuri's lab and moves, a VFX now appear on the correct location. Enemy emote font size is no longer too small. Okay, that's interesting. I'll have to check that with my how I set up my OBS for that. Fix an awe snap error that could occur when Strange Academy moved cards. Goose's visual effects now plays in the correct location if he moves. Kingpin's VFX should now always show in the correct location. Fix an issue that could cause Jessica Jones' visual effects to not properly display. Punisher's drag VFX properly. So a lot of visual effects here. Iron Fist no longer remains on the board if it is destroyed after activating. Oh, interesting. That was a bug. Fixed an issue that was causing Vormir sound effects to play at times. Fixed the problem with Korean fonts. Booster colors are now updating properly in the Battle Pass. Fixed the Isle of Silence for cards that are not marked ongoing in the text. Fixed the layout problem that caused a gap between in-player and opponent avatar and the player and opponent info lot pop-up. All right, these are all pretty minor so far, at least not all of them, but the last few. Quickly tapping to get premium season pass multiple times will no longer cause the issue to be stuck. Many art fixes over a variety of cards. Steam clients should now use current language. Having 3 or 4 custom searches no longer causes UI elements in the filter to clip each other. Search and filter menus no longer under the notch of the top iOS. The player name icon no longer squished. Fixed font sizes. Fixed an issue when you could purchase the wrong item from the token shop. It is no longer possible to enter nothing but spaces as a profile name. Oh, insane. Added a no connection warning, known issues list. So they've got a bunch of still issues out there, which you can read right there because I don't want to keep reading that. And I'm sure you don't want me to. So I think this is a pretty interesting, adjustment here. I think and Key just said it in chat, the ramp decks are going to go crazy. With this Electro Sandman situation. Darkhawk, Sandman, Thanos, buffs, nerfs. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to come chat about it further, check out the Discord link in the description below. Love to hear what you see. If you want to share with your aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, appreciate it. Till next time, hope you have a wonderful day.